All right. We can just jump in with a big hey.
Yeah.
Hey!
Hey!
Happy New Year!
New Year, everybody. Welcome to 2021. Yeah.
Wait, I'll do the 2.
Okay.
And I'll do the 2-0 and you do the 2-1.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah! No, give it to 20.
Yay! Oh
For the people that are on our YouTube, you'll see that we just did a magical feat just now.
Don't hype them up. It's not magical. Don't get them too excited.
But yes, to the people that see us from YouTube, we are on virtual.
Zoom it, baby.
So Christine's at her house and I'm at mine. You're getting a very small glimpse into our life as she inches the camera over.
Away from my messy as fuck kitchen.
If your kitchen is not messy as fuck, that means you're just not working. You're unemployed, in my opinion.
Oh.
Like if you're not going to work every day, then I expect a clean house. But if you have a full-time job,
like this is my first night sleeping at home in a very long while, so I've been a very lazy day.
Well, we're happy to see everyone back. Thank you for joining us in the new year. If you're hearing this, that means we made
it. Now, made it into what? We're not exactly sure yet, but we made it past 2020.
Yeah, I saw this meme that said, my 7-day trial of 2021 has expired. I'd like to return it. I'd like to cancel subscription.
Return it into what? Go back to 2020? That's the only option.
No.
So unless going back to like 1999, I don't want to do it. I'm done.
And the thing is, I entered this year with skepticism. I did not think that it was going to be better than 2020. I was not like, woo, new year, the new me, new everything. Everything's going to change. Did you go into the year that way?
Hell no. I don't know why all of a sudden, 2020 is going to be over, 2021 is going to be amazing. And then it's like somebody died and they were like, 2021 already. And it's like, yo, people die every day. I don't understand why you guys thought like that was only reserved for 2020.
Imagine if there were no deaths in 20. That'd be even more suspicious.
That'd be
if no one died.
That means that, wait, so you were letting us die beforehand? What the fuck? Like, coronavirus is still a thing. And now we got the vaccine I don't mean necessarily worry about, but now we have the vaccine. So that's a new thing. And clearly there's some political unrest in one of the superpowers of the world. That's terrifying.
Yep.
Terrifying.
It's not even, I think unrest. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, within 5 to 10 years, I'm trying not to be an American citizen anymore. It sounds really rough, but
where would you go?
Sorry, guys, drinking beer. If I can leave, if I'm staying in America, I'm staying right in New Jersey, right in New York. Was it you I discussed it with? Someone I discussed it with, where we were like, this seems like the safest place to be for Black people.
Yeah. Unfortunately, imagine this is not even like top level shit. This is like bottom of the barrel. At least we're being listened to. At least we're not being shot in the middle of the broad daylight. Like that's horrible things to settle for.
Like I would go somewhere where there's not like too much culture shock. If I'm like leaving alone or leaving with like just my family, just my family, I'm definitely gonna go somewhere where there's not too much culture shock. So. Somewhere in Europe, somewhere in Canada.
I wonder what it's like to live in Africa. Like I was talking about, everyone knows, if you don't know, my boyfriend is Nigerian. So we were just talking about like, there's so much more opportunity in Africa right now for Black people than there is in anywhere in the world, because they're literally on the cusp of development. Like, and not just, obviously they have running water, it's not saying that, but they're on the cusp of technological development. Like Nigeria is literally over 80% youth, and they're all trying to get money. So they're all creating these apps, these robots, these things of doing things, and they're being scooped up by white people, white companies.
So imagine if we kept to our own.
Yes, or even something simple like a car wash. Nigeria, not to say they don't have car washes, but guess who owns all the car washes in Nigeria? You won't even guess, but try. The Dutch.
The Dutch in Nigeria?
The Dutch in Nigeria. The Dutch. Car washes, something simple as that. Laundromats, the things that we take for granted. If we were to open those things in Africa, to take that there and put money, you would make so much bread. You make so much money.
And that's why I say, I mean, you hear me talk about we have to do more for our communities. You hear me say that all the time. I talk about, a Black utopia in America. Now I'm afraid of that happening because white people are wild. But it's like,
that would be a civil war. If we created a utopia, Christine, that would be.
White people
would be so offended.
The cups.
They would be so offended that they would start the civil war. How dare they?
Who do you think it's going to be us who are going to start the civil war? It's absolutely going to be the white people, no matter what.
What I'm saying is the reason they'll start is because the white people are so offended by us doing so well.
Valid. That's why they always burn us down. But it's like, and you know what? Because I have spoke about going back to Africa. I say this all the time. I was like, if I talk about like going back to Haiti. Everybody knows I'm Haitian, and I was like, if there was like a huge group, it can't just be. And I always say it can't just be a little bit of people. When it's only a little bit of people, it's easier for y'all to get manipulated, and it's easier for y'all to get destroyed. So it has to be a large group. I said, if there were a large group of Haitian Americans who said, we are going back to Haiti and we're taking over and we're turning shit over, I would go back to Haiti. But not enough people want to do that. So it's like, I'm not going to go back. So, and I even talked about the idea of going back to Africa. One of my best friends is Nigerian. Even my other friend who's Panamanian, she's like, I would move to Nigeria. We've all been talking about leaving this country because
there's so much opportunity.
It's getting less safe. The issue with going back to Africa is that socially they are still in the past. Same issue with Haiti, because I was talking to my friend who is a lesbian, and she's just like, I'm not welcome in those
That's very true. So that's very unfortunate. Oh,
you know what I mean? So it's like
what are we trading? Like,
when we think about the pro-Black movement, we can't just think about, straight passing, healthy Black people. We have people with disabilities, people with illnesses, people that are, have physical illnesses, mental illnesses, physical disabilities, LGBT, things that are not considered acceptable. We have to think about that with our movements.
I remember, that triggered me. I remember back in June of last year, when all this was happening, everyone was shouting Black Lives Matter, but literally trans women were being murdered left and right. And then they were like, oh, are we? And they started saying trans lives matter. Yep. And the Black community started attacking them like, oh, you're trying to co-opt our saying. And no, and they have the same saying that they have the same reasoning that Black people do. They're literally like, we have to say trans lives matter because the Black community does not include us. Exactly. When you say Black lives matter.
So now we have to say Black trans lives matter. That's crazy.
Right.
Black women's lives matter. Black children's lives matter. Why do the movement is not just for Black men, but for some reason, that's what people think. I mean, even when it comes to police brutality, they talk about, oh, they're killing our men, they're killing our men. There's several stories from last year alone that show that it's not just our men.
Right. So, we had to say her name because they were literally ignored. I remember this was like shortly after Mike Brown and Trayvon had happened. We had to say her name because people were just blatantly ignoring that this was happening to women.
Yeah. There's a lot that needs to be fixed even within our own community, but
what do you feel like that should take the forefront, us fixing ourselves before we demand things of other races?
I've always said for there to be true equality between the majority of people, never be between everybody. That just won't happen. But for there to be like true harmony between the majority of people, we need to fix what's wrong with ourselves first. Because if all we're concerned with, and this is something I see specifically with the Black community, specifically with Black men, and almost specifically with Black men with money, any type of money, not just the super rich ones, but any self-sufficient Black man, their idea of equality is being treated like a white person.
Right.
Seen as equal to a white person, being seen as one of their brothers.
And that's how they operate. That's how they move.
So it's kind of that same issue with, like, even with this idea of like Susan B. Anthony, and we praised her, and women's suffrage. Women's suffrage was white women's suffrage. It was not suffrage for all of us. You know what I mean? So and Susan B. Anthony was told, either white women get their rights or get the right to vote, or none of y'all get the right to vote. And she said, all right, kick it, niggers.
Bye.
What to do?
I never included them. Why did you even insult me and say that I was talking about them?
Exactly. And that's what I see with a lot of Black men with this movement. It's kind of like, if they can be accepted by whites, then they kind of won't care about the rest of us. And that's why I say the Black Lives Matters movement.
How do we do that? Like, that just sounds like a pipe dream almost, like for us to be able to put ourselves on the forefront when the day-to-day might not prove that you need to work on us as a community when you're fighting the man on a day-to-day.
I wish I had the answer to that.
Yeah.
I do. I have theories, I have thoughts, but I do not have any answers to that. All I know is, like, that's what needs to happen. If we work on fixing what's wrong in our community and not taking what anybody else says is wrong in our community, us coming together, us saying this is what we need to do, and then fixing that, then it then at that point we can, and I'm not saying that we can't demand equal rights and also fix what's going on at the same time. You know, like some people have that idea of like, oh, well, you're talking about, like, what is it? Like, you guys want to take away our guns. What about gang violence? I could talk about gun violence in the hood or between gangs, and talk about the issue with the right to bear arms, the Second Amendment. I could talk about those two things at the same time. They're different issues. So I can say there's something wrong in my community and work on fixing that, and also say, hey, but the way the government is treating us is still bad. No matter what we're doing wrong, you can't just treat it however you want.
Yeah. No, I mean, all this has been triggered because I feel like, not to go off track, I just feel like, so do you have a Clubhouse?
What the fuck is that? I have to like get invited? I'm not cool, so I never got invited. I don't know what it is.
I'll invite you. It's basically Twitter with voices. So there are rooms where people come to discuss a topic, and you can jump into that room and listen to what everyone's saying. And it shows you who's speaking based on that topic. And then you could raise your hand to be included on the stage to speak. But if you're not on the stage and you just jump in, you just listen. No one can hear anything you're saying.
Okay.
Or and then you can contribute. The thing is, like, the Black community has, like usual, taken this to a whole nother level. You got like rooms that called the Wetties, where you got a bunch of these IG baddies like asking niggas to send money on Cash App. You got moan rooms.
Girl, hold on.
And no, dudes are sending it. They making bread, so I can't knock them. I would never knock someone's hustle, never. But you got rooms like that. You got rooms, moan rooms, where people come in and just moan.
Wasn't there a room? I heard there was a thing like that, and it was a room where it was all niggas just mooning.
Yes.
There's something very attractive about all women doing, and something very disgusting about all men doing it. No. I know. That is not homophobic, y'all. There's just something. Men, you do not sound good when you moan. I don't care what.
I think the opposite.
Straight. No.
I feel the opposite. Completely the opposite. And I'm not
unless I'm in the moment with the man inside of me. No, it is not.
I disagree. I thoroughly enjoy hearing.
Do it at the same time?
No. Only one person can speak at a time, pretty much. Like, many people can.
You want to hear different men doing it after one after the other?
Yes.
Oh no.
That's not, like, I know I'm not alone in this. Listeners, please, if you agree with me, let me know. I know I'm not the only one, but hearing a man in pleasure is hot. The same way men, I'm sure, find women moaning hot. I don't find women moaning hot. Very, very, very cis, very straight. Actually, like, the face you're making is the face I make when I hear girls moan. But when you hear a guy, like, just, and I'm not talking about no, oh baby,
If your man is moaning like that, you gotta see what's going on.
I'm talking about like, yeah.
Wait, one time I had a guy who I was fucking who was completely silent the whole time we would have sex, right?
He's a serial killer.
It was so then I told him, I was like, I need some noise. Like, I need to know that you're hearing it. Like,
exactly.
And then, you know what he started doing, bitch? He would fuck me, and then when he would come, he'd be like, oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Yeah!
Wait,
What the fuck? Absolutely not. There was another one. It was
no. Wait, time out. It would only take one time for me to hear that, jump off of you, get you, call an Uber on your phone, and get you all the way out of here. No. Oh shit. Did you just shit yourself? Did you just
Oh, when we get off this call, I'll tell you who it was too. But
I know who it was.
Of course you do. There was another one.
Ooh.
There was another one. We were having sex, and he was fucking.
That's disgusting. And I hope, and if he's listening,
Uh-huh.
you need to change yourself. You probably need to go to therapy for why you have that reaction to coming.
I mean, he has a whole girlfriend now, so I don't know. Oh. She must like it.
Oh shit. That's gonna be my response to shit now.
Oh my god. There was another. Did I tell you that? I don't know. I'm gonna tell you again. There was another one, and he was fucking me, and I'm sorry, and he literally was like making a lot of eye contact.
That's disgusting.
And then like when he came, he was just like.
YouTube, the people that watch on YouTube, you'll see that. Yo.
Oh fuck.
Okay, we have to move on. We have to move on.
Let's move on.
Okay, so new year. Let's briefly talk about this. Do you feel like the new year brought you a completely different version of you as soon as it hit midnight? What changed for you? What changed?
Well, first of all, so if you guys are wondering why I'm drinking a beer, my surgery is postponed. So I was supposed to be in a pre-surgery diet, but I took myself off of it because I was eating 800 calories a day. Fuck that. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, not sustainable.
No, it's meant to be for 2 weeks before the surgery.
Yeah.
That's what I found what was weird, because the surgery only got postponed for 2 weeks, which was not in line with what my doctor said. So I'm like, these nurses are not paying attention. I don't know, something weird. I'm like, so you expect me to be on that diet for 4 weeks straight?
Yeah, no.
Plus, it's so that's a whole nother story. Anyway.
Okay.
So yeah, so what was I talking about? So when the ball dropped, we were at my friend's house. It was my friend who was there, her husband, me and my other friend. They were all drinking, taking shots and drinking. I had a bottle of water. We watched the ball drop. We toasted glasses and bottle. And then we played a Family Feud video game. Like, no, absolutely nothing happened. I was waiting for the ball. As soon as she said we're going to play Family Feud, I was waiting for that ball to drop so we could play. Like, that's all I wanted.
And I mean, that's the thing. Like, I still feel like it's 2020. Nothing has changed. My hair has changed, but nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. Like, I think that's where we suffer. We wait till the ball drops to do it, to make changes.
Yeah. And that's what I say, the idea of new year, new me, like, why is it that we make ourselves wait until January 1st to try something new? And not only that, then people will fuck up and be like, oh, well, I can try again next year. So it's January 20th. You can start again. You don't have to wait 11 and a half months. Like, obviously it's not January 20th today. Y'all know what I mean. But like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I do. Do you think it's better to have a date that's even as arbitrary as January 1st than to not have a date at all?
For me personally, I think it's better to have a date because my brain does not function well under chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that because I'm not functioning well and everything is chaotic. So it's like when there is a planning, like even when it came to like the date for the surgery, and then they were like, because of the surgery, you're going to do this on this date. The diet starts this date. You're going to come here for this. You need to get this by this. And blah, blah, blah. And I was
Right.
boom, 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 boom.
Right.
I lost 25 pounds as a result of doing all this. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I was like, boom, 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 boom. Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. And then they said, okay, it's postponed. You have to do this, now you have to do that, but this person not answering the phone, or maybe you have to do that. I don't know about this. And so now everything is chaotic again. So now
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I
for
get
me
that.
personally, there needs to, with dates or with planning, you can be more successful. I don't know too many people who thrive without a plan. Go on.
So with that in mind, what's wrong with saying new year, new me? Because that's a date. At least they have a date in a deadline in mind to begin the change.
But it's the same thing as like, no, excuse me, not the same thing. My issue is it'll be something like fiscal responsibility. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, things that can be handled right then and there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, oh, I'm bad at paying off like whatever, or I'm a shopaholic. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'll wait till January 1st and then I'll start. Man, June 30th and you're $50,000 in debt. Start next check. Make that your day. That's okay.
I see. It definitely, you're right. It depends on the immediacy of the thing you have to change. That's very true. That's very true.
So that's why I feel it's like if you're not trying to take steps to become a better version of yourself, not to change who you are, but to become a better version of yourself, it starts with baby steps. So even if you say January 1st, I'm gonna go ham, beforehand, you could work on the diet. If we're talking strictly weight loss, right? Beforehand, you can work on the diet, and not even the whole diet. Okay, normally I eat out every single day of the week. So next week, I'm only going to eat out 5 times. You took away 2 days.
Right.
And after 2 weeks after that, only 3 days. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Just start small and build and build and build. Yep.
And then January, so you give yourself months and months and months of prep. It doesn't all have to hit you like a light January 1st. And then you feel as much of a failure if you don't do things and then feel like, okay, now I have to wait until next month. Okay, next year. You know what I mean? And that's for anything you do. Go on.
It's nuts. It only takes 30 days to instill a habit. 30 days of doing the same thing over and over and over again. That's all it takes. Good, bad, or indifferent. Yeah. And most people quit at day 14.
Valid.
Before the halfway point. Most people quit whatever habit they're trying to make by June. I'm gonna say June by day 14. So January 14th, if you pick something and really start on the 1st, which none of us did because the 1st was on a fucking Friday. So we were all like, let's wait till Monday.
Weren't you and Aaliyah hungover until Sunday?
Yeah. It was the longest vacation I had. But yeah, so if you start something, if you can get past day 14, you're gonna make it. The hardest day is day 14.
Yeah. And also like new year, new me, you don't have to do it alone. How about new year, new us? Get a group of friends, join an online support group, do it with your family. You know what I mean?
It takes a village.
For whatever you're planning to do. I know a friend, her and her friend, she's like a coworker friend, her and her friend, to help themselves save money because they know they're bad with money. Every paycheck they meet up with each other and they give each other some money, and the other person goes home and hides it. So they know they're not going to spend each other's money. And that
right. That's lit. That takes a lot of trust, but that's lit.
You have to do with somebody you like, and that's whatever. Hey everybody, I got a new phone.
She balling. She got the 3 cameras. But yeah, another thing, with New Year, I always implore everyone to do this. Actually plan out your year, but don't plan your whole year. Make your goals that you want by the end of December, and then split that up into quarters. So a quarter is 3 months. There's 4 quarters in a year. So if your goal is to save $10,000 by December, do the math, break that down, and find out what that means for each quarter.
$100.
Each quarter, and then you break that down into each month. And then you look at your paycheck and you're like, okay, this will have to come out of each paycheck. so that at the end of December, I have my goal. And then more often than not, you're going to realize your goal is too lofty for your current means. And
Valid.
that's either going to make you change your means to make it work or augment your goals so that it's achievable.
That's true. I like that idea.
I fully implore it. I did it. Me and my boyfriend did it for 2019 going into 2020. And we actually wrote it down on the paper and we lost the paper. And we refound it like mid of this year. And we were like, oh, we actually like did this. Like, just because it was written down, it was made conscious and energy was put towards it. So even though we weren't thinking about it every day, a lot of it was achieved.
Yeah, I do like that. All right, there's a plan. I'm gonna do that
Yeah.
as soon as we stop recording. That's a good idea. I like that. Yeah, I think 2021, especially for our generation. So anybody younger, keep fucking out, making your mistakes.
What's our generation? How, like 90 to what? 90 to what to what?
How old are we? I'm gonna be 30 this year.
30 years makes a generation.
Yeah. So I would say between 91 and 96, 25 to 30 years old.
Yeah. Okay.
So for
everyone else, not included, you're Gen Z. I know you don't want to be. I know you want to be a millennial so bad, but you were born in 99. Oh, yeah. You know nothing about what we went through. You came into consciousness in 2006.
That's valid. That's absolutely
when you came
valid.
into consciousness, 9/11 happened, Michael Jackson died. Like, come on. You don't know nothing about nothing. Anyway, continue. Sorry, I have to read them every time. I have to read them. Everybody wants to be a millennial, and then everybody likes shitting on millennials.
Are you sure? I was gonna say
make it make sense.
I sent my cousin. Me and my cousin. He's 16, so he's fully Gen Z. Even though today he renounced Gen Z. He said, "I'm not part of them anymore." I said, "Okay."
Why? What happened today?
I don't know. Like, okay. But
okay.
I sent him a video because we sent TikToks back and forth to each other. And I sent him a TikTok that I thought was funny. And he was like, that seems like millennial humor. And I was like,
excuse you. What is millennial humor means what?
I don't know. I was like, I thought it was funny. LOL. Okay, anyway. You really shut me down. Like, they do not like us.
No, the real Gen Zers don't like us, but the cuspers, they always want to choose millennial.
Oh, that's valid. But no, he's a full Gen Z. He is 16. So,
yeah.
But yeah, new year, new me. Oh yeah, so for like people like us, like, what was I gonna say? I don't remember.
People in our generation.
I think it's great I love that. Like, create your goals for the end of the year and break it up into 4 pieces. But even this idea of, and jobs asking for you all the time, where do you see yourself in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years?
Yeah.
You could do that for yourself too. Even if you put it 5 years in the future, where do you see yourself for the 25-year-old?
Right.
Where do you see yourself at 30?
Extremely flexible goals. Don't stress yourself out with goals you make now. Because you're going to be 50 and you're going to look at your 25-year-old self and be like, bitch, why you thought?
I'm trying to have a house and 3 kids and blah, 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 blah. Don't do all that if you're single and you have $2 in your account. You don't know what's going to happen in 5 years. You know what I mean? But I think it's definitely like, where do you see yourself professionally? Where do you see yourself emotionally? Where do you see yourself physically? Where do you see yourself financially? That's even great. Come up with a 5-year goal. Know what that 5-year goal is, and then don't even 1 and 2 and 3. No, you know where you want to be at 30, and then you can focus on what you're doing this year. Right. Bring yourself closer and closer and closer to it.
And for those overachievers that's always done that, and the people that it's never enough, like, I want you to consider for 2021, what will make you content? Like, when you wake up in the morning, what facts about your future life will bring you peace? Because there's certain people in this world that just will always want better, more and more and more. It's never good enough. You have a house, beautiful house, but they want a bigger house. They want 4 houses. They want kids, but they want 10 cars in the garage, 20 cars. When it comes to materialistic things, it's never enough. So I implore, though, if you're that type of person, I implore you to ask yourself, what will make me content? Like, for me, when I think contentness, I think waking up on a Sunday, my kids are playing, there's food in the fridge, the lights have never been off. Like, that's what brings me contentness. Yeah. Like, and for a lot of people, they haven't really put much thought into it.
That's valid. That's very valid. For me, it's not wondering if I should purposely give myself corona so I can get another 2 weeks off of work. That's my
Exactly. Exactly. Knowing, like, literally, you should know your version of content. If your content is not working, or having a 9 to 5, nothing wrong with having a 9 to 5. Like, if your contentness is waking up at 6, going on your run, going to work, getting back at 5, picking up the kids, making dinner, that's beautiful. Don't let anybody talk you out of having a 9 to 5. Like,
that's a big thing. There is nothing wrong with sticking to the status quo. I do
yeah.
believe that there is a lot of work for people who are not white. I do believe there's a lot of work we have to do outside of that. But there's
Yeah.
also, you know what I mean? But there's also nothing wrong with what she said. If
Yeah.
you want stability, everybody wants stability. Even like adrenaline junkies still wake up and eat the same breakfast every day. Even if they're
Yeah.
doing a new activity every day, there's still some sort of order to their life. You know what I mean?
Yep.
There's nothing
Yep.
wrong with stability. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
But yes, so not to segue harshly, but
We're
2021
gonna
has
do it
already
anyway.
brought in 2021 has already brought in its fair share of drama coming from the Kardashian clan. You want to talk about the good news or the bad, the happy news? I don't even know what to call it.
I guess it depends.
Let's talk. I almost caught a foot cramp. Ooh. Let's talk about the ending of an era. Let's talk about that first. Oh, which era do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about the big one, then we'll talk about the messy one.
Okay. So, for people that don't follow white news, Keeping Up with the Kardashians is coming to a close. I'm just pulling up the facts if you see me looking down. This is a show that began like mad long. It's actually, hold on, I'll pull up the exact date. The original release is October 14th, 2007.
Wow.
So this show is older than a lot of y'all. A lot of y'all. This show's old. Like, what, in 2017 it was 10.
There's nobody born in 2007 that should be listening to our show. Maybe then older than a lot of y'all kids. I pray, if you were born after 2007, don't watch our show. I'm not going to get in trouble with your mamas.
That's fact. You'd be, what, 13, 14 years old?
Yeah. No.
It has had 260 episodes, 20 seasons.
How many offshoots? What are they called? Spin-offs.
Oh, spin-offs? Let me pull that up. Because there was a lot. There was like
Chloe,
Kim and
Courtney,
Take Miami.
And who was it? Courtney and who was her ex-husband? The drug addict.
Lamar, Chloe and Lamar.
Yeah, Chloe and Lamar, and then all this other shit.
We had Courtney and Chloe Take Miami. Then we had Courtney and Kim Take Miami. And Courtney and Kim, like, they're all literally the same. So they took Miami. Then we had Scott Disick had his own show. Then we have Courtney and Kim Take New York. Chloe and Lamar. Courtney and Chloe Take the Hamptons. Dash Dolls. Rob and China.
Did that ever happen? It did. We got a few from that.
It did. It was only for one season, though. It had 11 episodes.
Well, their relationship was only one season, so.
Yeah. I Am Kate. Life of Kylie.
Who the fuck is Kate?
Caitlyn
Jenner? I've never heard somebody call her Kate. What the fuck? Okay. I Am Caitlyn. Thank you. What the fuck?
That was the name of the show. I Am Kate. So.
Caitlyn. No, has anyone ever mentioned her as Kate?
No.
It's Caitlyn Jenner. That threw me off. Go on. Sorry.
But yeah, so we've watched Kim go through all her weddings. Remember with Chris Humphrey, we watched her get married to Kanye.
Yeah, all her weddings. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah. We watched Kylie come of age. We watched Kendall become a model, air quotes on model.
It's funny because at one point Chris said that she wanted to end the show with Kylie getting married. I guess she didn't expect her to break up with that boyfriend before they got married.
Tyga?
No, this is
Oh, Travis?
yeah, Travis. If this show would have ended much earlier, if they let that little girl marry that old ass man.
Yes.
Ew.
I was about to say, she was approving of that?
He was in the house. They was fucking in the house. I don't care how like lenient of a mom I'm trying to be. If I find my kids fucking in the house, I'm finding a belt and I'm closing my eyes and whipping over my belt. I don't give a fuck. Let that little boy, little girl, little whoever's mama come in. Did you whip my? Yes, and I whip yours too. I whip everybody's ass. Fucking in my house?
In my house where I pay mortgage?
You ain't paying no bills in this house. You
with me in the house?
With me in the house? Somebody might have to stop me from killing you.
Imagine you be in the kitchen whipping up some fucking dinner. Here.
I'm bringing the, what's it called? Medea style, I'm bringing the hot pot to the fucking room. You kidding me?
That's wild disrespectful.
Yo,
but yes, so we watched Lamar go through his coke phase. We watched Chloe get disrespected over and over again.
And we watched them go back to the men who disrespect her.
Actually get mad at the 60 or the 20-year-old or however old Jordan Woods at the time, 19-year-old, get mad at her instead of getting mad at the man that actually did something. Cool. We watched, what else did we watch? We watched them all have multi-race children.
Mm-hmm. Every single one of them except for Courtney.
Courtney, yep. We watched Courtney get back together with Scott, separate from Scott, get back together with Scott.
Go on a vacation with Scott and with that little girl he was dating.
Yes. Weird.
Who was it? The Richie? Something?
Yeah,
Richie?
Sophia Richie. Sophia Richie.
Are you doing? First of all, y'all were babysitting. First of all.
Or they were having threesomes. No one thought that? They've had to be having threesomes.
Then they were having a threesome with a child they were babysitting. At a certain age.
But she was legal. She was legal.
Would you fuck an 18-year-old?
No, I'm not saying I would. But she was legal. You can't say she was a child. She's an adult. Barely, but an adult.
Here's the thing. If it was like a one-off, maybe two-off thing that you do for fun, you're 22, 21, you're old enough to do it, they're older, experienced, you could have some fun. It's the fact that there was a whole relationship that throws me off. There was a whole because at 22, if I wanted to fuck a 40-year-old, I would have, and I did. But if that 40-year-old asked me to be his girlfriend,
that's weird.
No, thank you. All right, go on.
What do you think their legacy is as Kardashians? Because I have my own opinions, not all bad, but what do you think the Kardashian legacy has? Better yet, keeping up with the Kardashians, because obviously the Kardashians are going nowhere. Yeah. Absolutely nowhere. I wouldn't be surprised if they're just going to be keeping up with the cousins. It's not the Kardashians, but it's the little kids.
That I would not be shocked if in 10 years we definitely had a show for them. What do I think their legacy is? I mean, that show really set a precedent on how we view and I guess accept reality TV. You know what I mean? Like, and especially with Kris Jenner, like even look at it, like the way they did Kylie Jenner's birth, the way that they did I mean, they are a master of media, all types.
Yep.
Social, reality. I mean, they are a master of media. So they really changed, because this is in 2007? How many like regular reality shows did we have that weren't like reality shows with challenges or reality?
We had like Paris Hilton had a show.
The challenge, like she and Nicole Richie. You're talking about that one where they went out and they did things, like they went to families and they did things. They're rich. They
weren't just living. I see what you're saying.
They had the Real World, even like the Real World and like the Jersey Shore. They're in a specific house. They live in a specific location. They don't know. They're not allowed cell phones, even though they're allowed contact with the outside world. They're not.
Right.
We had America's Next Top Model.
Right.
Like, how many
You're
reality
right.
shows do we have where we're just looking at people?
Yeah. And we watched the whole family grow up. Like, listeners, if you know of another show, by all means let us know. But I can't think of a show before the Kardashians. And that could just be my age, but where they followed the family from however they met them for years.
Hold on.
And it got to a point that we were seeing things happening in real time, and then they would show us exactly what happened from their point of view. And I think that's what was so exciting about the show, especially once they all became more popular.
The only one I could think of before this was Run's house with Rev Run, his wife.
Yes.
Other one. And even them, they were, like, I remember I watched an interview about it. Could be wrong, could be right. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But he was very much like, you know, we record during the day. We don't record at night. The cameras leave at a certain time. You know, and everything you see is us being us. My friends are us. My thing is us. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's, except for his like bathtub type up at the end of each episode. I have and obviously reality TV is scripted. We all know that. But compared to the Kardashians, I remember when I used to watch it, there was one episode years ago. I think Courtney's first child was still a baby. He's like 13 now.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So he was still a baby. And this was when Scott was like going off the handle, still doing drugs and all this other shit.
Mm-hmm.
And Scott freaked out in their apartment after they had an argument and broke some glass. Blood was everywhere, whatever.
Oh, wow.
And Courtney walks in the room and she goes, oh my God, there's blood all over the Corey Vidali sheets. And I was just like, she walked in there. She clearly said, holy shit, there's blood on the sheets. And they all said, wait. They're a sponsor. Cut. We're going to have you walk in again. Like, clearly that's what happened. You know what I mean? Right. They changed the way, I think they changed the way we expect reality shows to go. And they should have made it normal for us to just watch people live.
Right. And they're definitely, like I said, Kim put the whole family on her back. The whole clan.
Oh, yeah. That's why she was
everyone.
Yeah.
Literally, like, this show has made their entire family famous.
Yeah.
Like, it has made the kids it's so powerful and has such a big, like, entity that even the kids are famous for just being the kids of that person who's just on a TV show, who happened to be related to someone who was Paris Hilton's assistant. Like,
yeah. And even like, what's it called? Like, anyone who touches them gets famous.
Yeah.
Ray J had no relevancy except for the greatest song ever created, One Wish. Ray J had no relevancy except for the sex tape.
And being Brandy's little brother.
Come on. Anyway, except for fucking Kim Kardashian. Who's the dude that Kris Jenner is dating now? That black dude. She just needed a black dude. Now people know who he is. I don't, because I don't give a fuck. But now people know who he is. Like, who's that ugly man, Jonathan, that always hangs around with them?
Yeah, who is? I think it's her hairstylist, best friend.
He is one of the ugliest men I've ever seen in my life. And I only say that because
Christine,
also a piece of shit. Like, every storyline with him is so nasty. Like, I'm like, there's nothing positive about this man. He doesn't even have a pretty face to make up for it. Why do you want to hang out with him?
He's just messy. I'm sure it's very entertaining.
Do you want to be around that at 40 years old? Isn't Kim Kardashian 40?
Yes, but I think she enjoys drama. I know she enjoys drama.
Speaking of Kim Kardashian and drama, let's talk about what's happening. They're getting divorced.
Yeah, it makes me sad.
Why?
Because it's a family unit. I feel sad for the kids.
Valid.
If they were single with no kids, bye. But I feel like literally because like they have kids that love them dearly, I don't know. Marriage is so important to me that especially once you have kids, my question is always gonna be like, does it have to be divorce? Like, can we not work this out any other way? You can have a separate home across the street from me. But does it have to be divorce?
That would be worse for the kids growing up though. Why don't mommy and daddy want to live in the same house?
Yeah, but if it's that intolerable, if you really can't bear to be in my presence, I'd rather have that than a full separation. That's
As a kid from parents who probably should have gotten divorced, I will tell you, sometimes
yeah.
it's better for the parents to get divorced. I
And I
understand the
hear that.
importance of the family unit, and I
Hmm.
understand that you should definitely work through your issues. But if the
Hmm.
issues are not work throughable, get divorced. Because there's,
Yeah.
and I'll say that from a lot of kids, because you fortunately came from a very loving home. Your parents to this
Yeah.
day are still very much in love with each other. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Or at least they seem it. You know what I mean?
At least I feel like just after a certain age, love, tolerating sounds more.
But it's like compared to parents who are constantly arguing,
Yes,
constantly
yes.
yelling, take out their frustration on the kids.
Yeah.
What's it called? Daddy's always cheating on mommy. Mommy's always cheating
Right.
on daddy.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're living separately, but they refuse to get divorced. And you as a kid are sitting here like, what the fuck is happening in this house? Like, just get divorced. I don't
Yeah.
understand. Stay away
But at
from
that point, both the kids old enough to understand that. Like they have a bunch of young children.
That's valid.
I like, yeah, what if we just say, hey, we'll hold off the divorce once they get into middle school. Once that we're able to have a conversation with them about what's going on, then we can separate. But like, I don't know. I don't know. We don't know how bad it is in the home.
Exactly. And I think that's the important part. And I say that because we've seen so many of Kanye's, you know, breakdowns, and we've
Yeah.
seen Kanye go through hot water, and we've seen Kim Kardashian stand up for him a lot. And even on her show,
Yeah.
she stands up for him. And on her show, she may have talked about their issues. I don't know. Whatever clips I saw
Yeah.
in the Shade Room. But, she stood through him with a lot of this. Apparently, this is Kanye who's initiating the divorce, not Kim.
Oh. But so is this a manic episode? I'd hate to say that because I hate stigmatizing people with their condition. But is this like, I feel like when niggas, not niggas, when
And
men instigate things like that, when men instigate such finality in things like that, they
valid.
more often than not come to regret it.
That's valid. I would agree with that. Hold on. Counseling, spending their time apart. They haven't spent time together as a married couple in months. They've seen each other for the sake of the kids, but have been living separately. Kim knows the marriage is over.
Who's giving these facts? is
But,
this Chris?
but of course, it's Chris. Um, Earlier today, Page Six reported that the couple were heading divorce. News that came more than 6 months after West tweeted about wanting to divorce Kardashian since November of 2018.
Wow.
But a source told E! News that wasn't the case yet. She wants to make sure she's making the right decision for the kids. It's not about the marriage anymore. She'll always care for Kanye, but it's over between them. Kim is only focused on what's best for her and the kids. So again, so they're not in love anymore. Kids can sense that, and I'll tell you that off from rip, because I remember I had kids when I was younger talk about how their parents were divorced and how much they hated it. But for me, I was like, how wonderful would that be? How wonderful. And as I grow up and I talk to other people who are the product of parents like mine, where it's constant argument, constant
Yeah.
screaming, constant shouting, constant fighting. You see the
Yeah.
disrespect, you see the this, you see the that. I've seen that since I was a child. And I
Yeah.
talk to other people about that, and they're like, yeah, my parents should have got divorced. And I just moved out of there as quick as I could. The kids don't want to be
Yeah.
part of that.
Yeah.
Do
I,
not.
I I feel it. We don't know how bad it is. Like we said, we don't know at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, more power to them. I just hope
Okay.
Kanye is surrounding himself with better people. If he feels so toxic or feels like the Kardashian household is too much, and that, which I'm sure they are,
But it's
I'm
like they've been
sure
living in
it's
Utah for the whole
mental.
of 2020. They've been in Utah. So like, or Wyoming, wherever the fuck that house is.
And I'm sure Kim's probably still letting her parent or her sisters meddle. Like I'm sure Kanye moved out to Utah or Wyoming for a reason, to get away from her family. To get away from her family, and then you're gonna still allow them to interject in our life in whatever way. Like, I'm sure it just got too much. I'm sure it
But
just got too
also,
much.
like, she has what? One, two. the 4 sisters and a brother. Like, that's a big family.
Yeah.
They're very
Yeah.
close. Like, the fact that Courtney is trying to stray away from them,
Yeah.
causing issues. Didn't they have that fight where she like scratched the shit out of her? That fight was
Yes.
but like, you know, like anytime somebody tries to disrupt the family unit, they get pissed. Like they are
Yeah.
very close. And if you're not used to that, or if you don't like that,
Especially when most men believe, for better or worse, that when you marry them, you're leaving your family behind. You're taking my last name. You are cleaving yourself from your family. You are now my family. We are a family. It's stupid. It's definitely stupid, but I've met men that feel that way.
I think that's so funny because 9 times out of 10 in these situations, even though that may be true in the what's it called, the nuclear unit, when it comes to who we're spending holidays with, you're at the mother's sister's house, or or the wife's sister's house, or the wife's mother's house, or the wife's brother's house. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
My grandmother on my mother's side, she was like the matriarch, right? And when family events happen, we all go there. When you want to date somebody new, you bring them around us. We are the cousins who.
So your dad's family, you never went, not never went, but your dad's family wasn't the place you spent most of your time.
Like regular days, yeah.
Yeah.
There were even a few Christmases where my dad's twin and his wife and their kids would come to my mother's grandmother's house for Christmas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even my father's mother and my mother's mother, at one point when they were both still alive, I remember, this is so cute, came over to my aunt's house where my grandmother and my grandfather lived. My grandfather was like in his last year. I can't remember what year it was, but he was definitely like on his way to dying soon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And both of the grandmothers were just sitting there chatting, and my father's mother was feeding my mother's father while the two mothers were sitting there chatting with each other. Like, and everyone goes, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's the matriarch. And and it's so I think it's funny that some men think that when 9 times out of 10 they're going to spend most of their time with their wife's family.
Right. What do you think about that Jeffree Star? I was going to say Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffree Star is a fucking snake. And I know for a fact Kanye fucked him. I don't care what anybody
Wait, says. What? I believe the opposite. I believe it was just like literally a crazy rumor that some TikToker made just because they both live in Wyoming. Kanye's people denied it. Jeffree denied it. I don't see any reason why. Kanye has no precedent for liking even manly men. He likes very feminine, voluptuous, curvy, long-haired women. He likes extremely feminine women. I can't make it make sense.
The fact that everyone's trying so hard to deny it that makes it more real.
I have no reason to believe that is true.
When I leave this earth, that'll be one of the first questions on my mind. Did Kanye West fuck Jeffree Star? Sorry, God. Did they have?
Now, why? That's one. Jeffree Star is repulsive.
But look at the nigga he was fucking earlier this year, or in the middle of last year. He pulls niggas. He has enough money to pull niggas. And if you're the man doing the fucking, do you really care what they look like? You know how many men out here are just like, a hole is a hole, pussy is pussy, bussy is pussy.
Ooh, bussy is pussy.
So
I would literally have to double think that. If I heard someone say, like, wait, what? What did you just say? But no, I don't think it's true. Time will tell.
What a random rumor. Like, why would that, just because they both live in Wyoming? That's silly.
That was what I watched the TikToker. Like, she was like, they both live in Wyoming. Oh my God. I have the tea. I've been holding on to this tea for months. I just hope not.
Why? Let him get his dick wet. If Kim ain't giving it to him.
That just the imagery is really disgusting. And not just that it's man on man. I like that type of stuff. But Kanye on Jeffree
Star is one of the most vile creatures on this.
Yes. He's actually like a fucking
alien
sewer rat.
Yeah. He's also like super racist, which makes me feel like that definitely happened because that seems to be Kanye's brand.
You saw that Jeffree Star fed into the drama by posting a picture of himself and said, "I'm ready for Sunday service."
What did I tell you?
He fed into it. That's feeding into. He's an attention whore. He loves the attention.
He did it. Let me look.
Okay, so I'm gonna go into the Zodiac.
Let's go into the Zodiac. I'm gonna start coming up with theme songs. It's Zodiac with Melissa. Get your Zodiac read. It's Zodiac time with Melissa. Zodiac time? Get your Zodiac read.
Sorry, Google Docs is downloading on my phone because everything's on my iPad.
No,
just give me 1 second. But welcome to Capricorn season. We are in it to win it. How do you feel about Capricorns, Christine? Before I get into our new Zodiac segment, how do you feel about Capricorns?
I don't really date. I talk to a few Capricorns. I don't do well with them. They're emotionless. They're very stoic. That's one issue I have with them. And I'm very expressive, as you can tell. So that's one thing I don't like. And I like direct communication. Like I don't want to, what's the word I'm looking for? I need you to show that you're interested in me.
Right.
And they don't. And then when you ask for validation, it's like they get upset at you.
Yeah.
Like, you're not giving me anything else to feel validated, you fucking cunt. So tell me if you like me or not. No, now at this point, I don't give a fuck. Fuck you. That's how I feel.
Yeah, Capricorns are known for being stoic. They're known for having like a high nose in the air type of approach to people. They do believe that they're better than others. For some, understandable. They're very competitive. They're very business orientated. When it comes to love, they love for utility. So the type of person that a Capricorn loves is someone that they find useful.
Interesting.
So they have to bring to the table. It's not like they don't want someone to take. No, actually, I take that back. Capricorns love taking care of people because it puts them in debt to them. And they feel like they are needed. I know I sounded harsh, but Capricorns do enjoy it. So Capricorn is the opposite of Cancer. And Cancers are very nurturing, extremely nurturing. They'll give you the shirt off their back. Capricorns will also give you the shirt off their back, but they will look at you in disgust as they do it.
Okay. Or that.
They will literally be like, "Oh, if you must." How'd you get into this situation? Things like that. So to switch up this year, if you want to know more about Capricorn, listen to the episode from January of 2020 because we talked about it. We talked about all the traits. So this year, we're actually going to interview these signs. So I came up with 15 questions that I sent to Capricorns that I knew in my social circle, and they sent me their responses. If you are listening, and next sign is the wonderful Aquarius.
The what?
The wonderful Aquarius, the best sign. The Aquarians.
What's that word before Aquarius? The weird?
Wonderful?
Wacky?
Spectacular?
Not as best.
Unique? Unique?
Unique? Just okay?
The superior Aquarius?
Ooh. Wow. Okay. Anyway, back to what you were saying.
Like I was saying, in a couple weeks, the best time of the year has arrived. And if you are an Aquarius, please reach out to us and I will send you our interview questions. And we'd love to hear your responses. It's going to be really cool to see how each sign answers the same questions.
Yes.
So I have one. And in the comments of this video will be all the Capricorns' IG information. So if you hear something you like, reach out. And that's what I promised my friends. I was like, if you want to be shouted out or if you want to remain anonymous, both are available to you.
Awesome.
So this first one comes from my friend George.
Mm-hmm.
So the first question, I have 2 people.
Okay, go on.
2 people. So it's not going to be too long.
Oh no, it's just
So my question was, what equals blank? So is blank equals a happy life? He said happiness equals a happy life. The next question, people often assume blank. He said, people often assume that we are mean. The next one, my best friends are blank sign. This is a Capricorn. His best friends are Aries. It's just very interesting because Capricorn and Aries you would not expect to get together, but it's literally fire meets ability to move the fire. Like to have a friend as an Aries, as a Capricorn, that means that you are literally being told yes. You want to do that? Sure. We bout it. Let's go. Let's do this. In the business world, a Capricorn's relationship with an Aries helps them get things done. Aries are the big creators. They're the spark. When you think Aries, think fire, you think a spark, either a short spark, short fuse, or a long fuse, but they are the spark to activity. So in the business world, by having an Aries in your pocket as a Capricorn, you now have someone that's going to enable and actually do the things that you need people to do.
Yeah.
There's nothing a Capricorn hates more than someone who's useless. That they literally give direction to and they don't listen to them.
They didn't like me. Maybe they think I'm useless. Go on.
And only because you don't listen to them, which is fine. Next question was, pick one, past, present, or future. He chose future, which is very interesting for a Capricorn because they're, like I said, very business minded, almost too much thinking about the future that can hinder them in the current. I told him to give me a name of a good wine or a good, I said choose one, a good wine or a good dish. He chose a good dish and chose chili chicken, Indian food. Pet peeve, people that smack their food when they eat. Yes. And that's also very telling of a Capricorn because Capricorns are very big on manners, very big on how things are supposed to be, very big on orderliness,
very
pomp and circumstance.
What they look and the way
they Yes. Very, very concerned to the point that they pass that concern on to others. So they don't like being associated with someone that smacks their lips.
Get over yourself. Go on.
Right? I asked celebrity crush. He said he doesn't have one. Theme song, Grace by Lil Baby. Haven't listened to that yet. Listeners, go ahead and type that into your Spotify and you'll get a Capricorn theme song. 3 qualities of a good person. 1, they have to be able to say when they're wrong. 2, they always have to be down to learn something new. 3, they have to be caring and understanding. So I like that. Like I said, Capricorns, their heart is deep, but they have a heart. They have a heart.
Where?
2 sides is too small.
Okay.
But it's there.
All right.
One thing he couldn't live without, he said the gym. I said, finish the sentence. Love is blank. He said, love is love. No, he said, love is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a Capricorn answer.
Yeah.
Love is cool.
Love is cool. So it'd be cool to see how these like different signs answer because I know a fucking Libra. Love is everything. Pisces. Love is a spiritual connection. It's gonna be pretty cool to see. And the last question, one question for the next sign. So one question to Aquarius. And he said, what do you know about Capricorns? Do you think we're a good match? So that's his question to the Aquarius. No, absolutely not. But that's the question to the Aquarius that answers this poll. So what do you think, Christine, of our first guest, Mr. George?
He seems interesting. The fact that his favorite thing is the gym is interesting. Again, he's probably very concerned with his looks, which isn't a bad thing.
Not a bad thing.
Again, this idea of, I feel like Capricorns are very surface level.
Like, at least what they show. At least what they show.
They're very concerned the way they look with how they're perceived. And that's what I hate. It's tough to get into them, you know what I mean? So they're asking
mm-hmm.
for, and they don't realize that. So when you're asking for validation, they don't want to give it. Maybe they think it's unbecoming, but they do not like to give validation. And it's like, how can you expect to go forward in a relationship if I'm not getting the validation now? Anyway.
You're 100% right. You're 100% right. I don't know if that's true about George specifically, but that is definitely a really good perspective to hear.
Hold on. Is this the George I think it is? Iota George?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Very single, ladies. Very single.
It's the Haitian George, right?
He's not Haitian.
Oh no, I'm thinking of the wrong one. I'm thinking of George's.
Yep.
Is that him?
No, different George. You're thinking of George's. George's is Haitian. This George is younger.
I was like, George's is fine. Fine, shit. I'm sure you're fine too, George. Oh wait, he didn't want to be anonymous, right? No, we said his name.
No, okay. No. His IG is in the comments, ladies. I fully implore. He's actually so what I find in him that I see in a lot of Capricorns is loyalty. Like they're very big on, if I do show you who I really am, if I do like give you an inch, you better not take a mile. Otherwise it's curtain. Valid. Like they're very like sharp with that. Valid. Very sharp with that.
Yeah.
All right, next person. The next person is not single. Ladies, don't try it. It's Sam's cousin, and he's engaged. Okay. So this is a different perspective. So this is a perspective of a Capricorn that now has found love and found support, and a little bit older as well.
Okay.
Question: what equals a happy life? He said family and generational wealth. Again, Capricorns are obsessed with their money. They're obsessed with getting that bag, and for them, stability is having the money. That's what stability is for them.
And definitely being product of immigrant parents, especially.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Definitely influences that answer.
Both actually are parents. Both are actually children of immigrant parents, George and Ak.
Of course, they have a Capricorn child. Go on.
Right, a hard worker. So next one. People often assume blank about my sign. People often assume that we are know-it-alls, but it's just a matter of exposing yourself to different levels of conversation. Most of my best friends are Libra, so he's actually different. So a Capricorn hanging out with the air sign, which is very interesting.
Okay.
Very interesting. I admire integrity. Which is very, very Capricorn. Again, that loyalty, that being able to trust you. Pick one, past, present, or future. He also chose future.
Okay, makes sense.
I told him to give me a good wine or a good dish, and he gave me both. So he wrote,
because he's an overachiever.
Exactly. He wrote Veuve Clicquot. Do you know how to say this? It's a brute. VEUVE CLICQOUT.
This is not what I think it is.
Yeah, I feel like you're gonna say it how it's supposed to be said and embarrass me.
No.
Veuve Clicquot. The brute.
My phone is not working. Okay, I can't even look it up. It won't let me.
Well, we'll put a little picture here.
Yes.
Of his bottle, but I've never heard of it. Again, that speaks volumes that he likes some super expensive wine that's no one's heard of.
Oh, yeah, it's champagne.
Or champagne.
Mm-hmm.
So that he gave me. What'd you say?
Interesting.
That's what he picked as his wine. And he said Nigerian jollof as a good dish.
Okay, valid.
Pet peeve: lack of taking initiative. Again, we're seeing a theme. Celebrity crush: Melanie LeBird. Do you know who that is? I'm gonna put a picture of her up here too.
Melanie who?
LeBird, MELANIE. LeBird, LIBURD. Are you looking at a picture?
She's very pretty. Yeah.
Yep. So we'll put a little picture here. Wow. I also asked him a quote to hold yourself to. He said, "Don't swim in an ocean of knowledge and drown in ignorance." Which is a very powerful quote. But again, it's about having the means to make your generational wealth.
Mm.
Theme song, Big Rich Town from Power.
Oh my God.
3 qualities of a good person: knowledgeable, confident, and respectful. 1 thing you couldn't live without: knowledge. So knowledge is a big theme to him.
Yeah.
Big theme.
No dumb bitch.
He said, I asked the question, love is blank. He said, love is love. Again, another cold answer. Another cold. And then 1 question to ask the next sign: did you invest in Tesla?
Oh God.
So he's very business minded. It shows. The Capricorn is strong.
Clear.
The Capricorn is strong.
Oh goodness. All righty.
So yes, that is our Capricorn answers. Again, listeners, if you would like to be featured or like to give us your answers as a representative of your sign, even if you're not an Aquarius, if you are a Gemini or whatever later in the year, help me help me get this done. Let me send you the interview questions. That way you can get them back to me, and I'll hold on to it until it's your season, and then I'll shout you out. Let me know if you want to be made anonymous or drop your handles.
Yeah, come on, yo. Get involved. Get involved.
Yes.
Let's do it.
All right. And then lastly, we wouldn't be a top of the year show if we didn't mention the sieging of the Capitol.
Lordy, Lordy, Lordy. Let's take a little break.
Mm-hmm.
I need some water. And then we will come back. Need to get my eyebrows done, cause they're looking kind of messy. These messy eyebrows, yeah. These eyebrows, and I get them done. Why is this shit all make me feel me good?
All right.
You let me keep going. I was gonna keep going.
All right. Now that we're back from break, let's talk about the Capitol season.
Yeah.
Something wrong with you.
Yeah, there is.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So white people, what did someone call it? White Privilege Day.
Yes.
White Privilege Appreciation Day. They decided to protest the certification of Joe Biden as our next president.
They were encouraged.
Yes, encouraged by the current president,
Donald Trump,
to protest the results and storm the Capitol.
Yes.
And they did it.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did they do it, but no one was killed. Okay, one person was killed. But they did it without getting anyone arrested during that time.
Yeah.
No rubber bullets, no mace. We have video of police officers opening up the gate to allow them through.
They're friends.
We have video of them taking selfies with them.
Yeah. They're friends.
Yes, with their with their family members, their relatives. And I just wanted to hear what you thought about. I'll give my thoughts after, but where were you when you found out this was going on?
I was in my bed, texting my friends. I think I was on TikTok, and my friend was like, "Yo, turn on CNN right now. Some crazy shit is going on." I was like, "Okay." So
Side note, the siege of the Capitol is CNN's most viewed day in its history.
Because this is something that's never happened before.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, so I went to my couch, I turned on the TV, and I saw it happening. And at first, now this was a planned, now here's where we're going to talk about the differences. This was already a planned protest, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the storming of the Capitol is what's bizarre. Because this was already a planned protest. So right. You were already protesting. Why you felt the need to storm inside the Capitol? And here's the issue.
Ridiculous.
Planned protests with people storming the streets with Trump flags, American flags, and Confederate flags. They equate these all as one. There's your first issue.
Yep.
I don't know if it was in front of the Capitol or somewhere near the Capitol, but they erected a structure with a noose hanging from it.
They did?
Yes, they did.
And I did not know about that.
Mm-hmm. And also at some point,
they're keeping that hush hush. I didn't know about that.
And that's why I said, because people are like, oh, this is not a race thing. When you see a noose hanging erected by white people in America, what does that mean? We're not done.
It's not for anyone but Black people.
It was absolutely, every single person there was a racist. Every single, I don't care what you say. There is not one word that could fall out of your mouth that could not convince me that these people were not racist.
Right.
Because Joe Biden means a Black and Indian female vice president, and they are fucking pissed. And also, for some reason, they see Joe Biden and they think, oh, communism, and he's gonna make us all wear chippers and get the COVID vaccine, and the niggas are gonna take
and
over.
Give money to the poor for them to just sit and do nothing.
Which is exactly what they all do, but I guess because they're white, they don't think they're poor, or they think they deserve it. Anyway, whatever. Because come on. Anyway, whatever, right? So this is already planned protests with people that are spouting huge hateful rhetoric, right?
Yep.
They showed up to this protest with their guns. The fact that armed guards were not sitting there, the fact that there wasn't a SWAT team, or what is it that they have at all of our protests, all of Black people's protests?
National Guard.
Or what the
riot police.
I promise you, every single protest you went to over the summer that was BLM, if you did not see the riot police, they were somewhere nearby. And I say that to say, my friend and I went to a protest somewhere down the shore. There was a place, there was a city down the shore, like a lower income neighborhood, but mostly white, you could tell. And the people were there were all types of people, but it was mostly white people. We started walking in the protest, but A, I had a back injury, so I couldn't walk for that long. And B, they were like, we're gonna go to the police, we're gonna walk to the police precinct with the cops with us. And the cops were in full armor. Obviously they had their guns, they were fully decked out because they were, whatever, but they had no armor, they were trying to show solidarity.
Yeah.
We're going to march to the police precincts and we're going to kneel down and we're going to have a moment of silence. I said a moment of silence kneeling in front of the police? Yeah. That's wrong. Wrong. So we stayed for most of it. And then I was also thrown off because they started off the protest with a priest doing a prayer. And he specifically mentioned Jesus. And I was like, there's a huge Muslim family right here.
Yeah.
That's a huge Muslim Black family, and you have this Asian priest talking about Jesus for a Black protest. There's a lot of things going on. If you had just like openly mentioned God, I'm like, not everybody believes in God. But whatever.
Yeah.
Calling specifically on Christian Jesus. It was weird. The whole protest is weird.
It's definitely not inclusive. It's not inclusive.
It was not inclusive.
And that's fine if that's what you want to believe in, but then have a prayer from a Muslim guy and a Jewish one. And
you should have had a whole bunch of different prayers, not just one.
Yeah.
So that's the issue that I have with that. And the fact that we were kneeling to the police, I was like, fuck the police, whatever.
Yeah.
And then as me and my friend were driving away from this very peaceful protest, and they were so adamant that it was going to stay peaceful. I'm like, we are literally in a fucking shore town in New Jersey. Is it really going to not be peaceful? Because the Asbury Park protest had happened a few days beforehand. And I was like, how dare you tell us that we have to stay peaceful when the Asbury Park protest got violent because of the cops?
Right.
And you're looking at us, the people, and telling us no matter what, we're going to stay peaceful. We stay peaceful.
The cops need to say, we'll stay peaceful. The cops need to make the promise that they'll stay peaceful.
So about 5 blocks away from where everything was, there was a group of about 20 police in riot gear, ready.
Wow.
Ready, hiding from everyone else because the cops that were with us were very docile.
Wow.
And were in solidarity with us. So I promise you, every single protest that happened, after we started seeing that the cops were the agitators, they started saying, okay, but we still need to be ready for these Black people. We still need to be ready for them. So that's my issue. So we're here talking about, we're protesting for our lives. Police need to be nice to us. They need to stop. We're not slaves anymore, so you can't come out here and just catch us. That's all we're asking for. But these Trump supporters literally go down to the Capitol with their guns, with their Trump, with their swastikas, whatever else.
With their zip ties. And pipe bombs.
Oh yeah, what was it? 3 bombs that they found?
Yes.
How many bombs were found at our protests over the summer? Anyway, and the cops, the law enforcement was not ready. Even the last protest that they had down in DC, they tear gassed the people protesting so that Trump could have a photo op with a Bible that he was holding upside down. He literally is Antichrist. Like, do you know what I'm? Or he can't read. Trump can't read, so that's why he.
I guarantee at least one of them.
So, yeah, that was so just Offset. That was my biggest problem. You cannot tell me, and I mean, they deny it hand and foot. I mean, mouth and butt. Whatever other words I can think of, they always
mouth and butt.
They always deny that there are two Americas. There's only one America. There's only one America. We all live in one America. When you allowed the cops to open the gates and let them storm the building, literally waving them in.
Yep.
And said, I read something today that showed that there were off-duty cops in with the protesters.
Wow.
All because you're mad that Donald Trump didn't win president again?
Wow.
That's insane. If you're telling me that that's not white supremacy and white privilege, and then you sit here and get mad that that girl got shot?
Yeah. Did you see the video? I've seen memes, and it's not funny. No one's death isn't funny, but she was literally climbing through a window, and someone in a security guard shot her.
And told her to stop. They were told several times, if you do these things, first of all, if it was us, we wouldn't have even been allowed past.
They would have bombed the Capitol. They would have said, the Capitol's down. The Capitol's down.
So if it was us, we wouldn't have even made it past the barriers because we're not a part of the KKK. So the police would have recognized us. So that's number one. They wouldn't have let us pass. If we did find a way to push through, we wouldn't have made it to the walls. They were climbing up the walls like monkeys. They call us
like actual apes, like actual monkeys.
That's crazy. Okay.
Did you see them fall off?
Oh my God. I was terrified when I saw that video. I was like, what the fuck?
One of them actually fell. But that's crazy.
His fault. So I don't feel bad. And they allowed them to walk in there. They were taking pictures with them. They were in, and my thing is like, what if there wasn't, like, what if this was just planned and there wasn't like an assembly? Like, what if people were in their offices? Would they have killed Pelosi? Would they have killed the other senators?
They had zip ties. They had zip ties. They were planning on taking hostages.
Weren't they going to take hostage that mayor or that governor in
yes, in Michigan.
In Michigan? So, and the thing is, they planned this on social media.
My mother called me the day before and was like, don't be in DC. Why she thought I would be in DC, I don't know. But she was like, don't be in DC on when they certify the Georgia things. Something's going to happen. My mom, my private citizen mother, knew something was going to happen.
So that's my issue with it, is there were so many opportunities for this to be stopped and they refused to stop it. And even when it got out of hand, they still found a way to only kill one person. And the only reason she was killed is because she did not listen to the rules they were giving her right there in the moment. They gave her several opportunities to stop what she was doing. Several opportunities. We're not even given the opportunity to fucking put our hands up. Okay? Right. And they gave several opportunities to stop, and she got killed. And y'all want me to sit here and feel sorry for her? For what? No,
I don't feel sorry for her. She did it to herself.
These are the same people who turned George Floyding into a meme.
They did.
Fuck you. Fuck you. I don't give a fuck about none of these people. I don't care. They are racist. I would not be surprised if they were going to start the next civil war.
They believe they did something revolutionary. They're like, we're the only group to have taken the Capitol, bro. We are they need to respect us now. And then the other side of it is, oh, the media is blowing this out of proportion. We were peaceful. At least we weren't looting like those BLMs. At least we weren't burning down Targets and doing this and doing that. It's like, but you seized the Capitol. You actually ran up on federal government
and also they
property.
Did loot. They stole fucking the House Speaker's podium. So just because there wasn't a shop in there, you think you weren't looting? You were in the office ready to kidnap and or kill. We're still not sure because thank God the people weren't in their offices. You were taking pictures there, laughing with the cops. Are you kidding me? And excuse me, but a lot of those protests that got violent over the summer, they found that the looters and the rioters weren't even a part of it. They saw the protests and they used it as an excuse to burn the
come over the state.
And to fucking go and fucking whatever.
Yeah.
Okay? Even there was a video that a girl put up in fucking, what's it called? Somewhere in Brooklyn. There was a protest happening in Manhattan. Tell me why the looting or the rioting was happening in Brooklyn. Something weird like that, where they were very far away from each other. And this woman, she like screamed, you know, she got everybody to stop. And she was like, the fact that y'all are here in this neighborhood, she's like, the protest isn't here.
Yeah.
Y'all are in this neighborhood breaking down these windows. She's like, you guys fucked up this, like, it was like one of those things where you could charge your phone. She's like, homeless people use this to charge their phone. Now you fucked it up for them. You broke into the fucking store of that woman. That woman is,
and people that live there would never do that.
Nope. So she's like, there's an immigrant woman that runs that shop. You now fucked up her store. Y'all are out here. So do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the rioters, it was their people, or it was people who were just not part of the protest.
Just taking advantage. Yeah.
And they still, but because they see us all as one, they grouped us all together. And for some reason, we have to empathize with these people who stormed the Capitol. They could all suck the fart coming out of my butt. I don't care. And if Black people are going to need to start banding together.
Yeah.
To leave this country. I'm not kidding. I've said it before and I'll say it again. This place is not safe for us. This is only the
It's not our country. This is not our country.
They've made it very clear they don't want us here, so we need to go. That's how I feel about what happened. This is only the beginning. And we need to get the fuck out so they can burn themselves down and not us.
It's just,
we need to get out before they don't let us leave.
Right. No, with the whole siege thing, I was at work, so I didn't hear anything about it until like 4 or 5 o'clock, which was well after I'm glad I wasn't involved, because my heart, as soon as I saw it, my blood pressure went up, and it didn't come back down for like a couple of days.
Yeah.
Because it was so angering to see the level of disrespect that they were literally like, I don't understand how people say Black people make everything about race. But this was literally them spitting on everything that we did this summer by allowing these white people to charge into the Capitol. It makes no sense. And I found it extremely disrespectful. I found it incredibly telling. I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to hear, oh, we didn't know. Or, oh, we didn't think this was gonna happen. You knew it was gonna happen. You just knew who you were dealing with. It was people that were kin. I've watched some videos of literally a security officer holding a gun out at them, climbing into the windows. Or no, they were in the house chambers, and they were looking through, and people were coming in, and he had the gun through the little hole in the glass of the house chamber. My thing, his hesitation to shoot is only because he feels he can relate to the face looking back at him.
Absolutely. You are absolutely fucking right, Melissa. They have no empathy. And it's been proven, actually. They've done studies on this.
Yeah.
So, you guys want to call me racist, say I have an obsession with white people. People have been saying that lately. And I'm like, listen, I'm just perfect.
What?
Oh, yeah. But they did studies. They've done studies, and it's just white people have a lot lower empathy, or none at all, when it comes to people of color. White people have more empathy for animals than they do for people of color, specifically Black people, but definitely all people of color. That's the reason why they so easily deem us thugs, monkeys, villains, or muffins, whatever it is. And that's why they do all these evil things to us, because they don't see us as human. They do not empathize with us
at all. They don't even try to. It was just infuriating. I was watching this video when he was holding the gun at the person's face. The person's looking through the peephole trying to get in, and he has it at his face. He knows what they're trying to do, and he's hesitating. And he's literally just like, oh, please back up, please stop. The hesitation I know wouldn't exist if that was a Black face. It's strictly because he relates to the face.
Yep.
He sees a face, he sees his cousin, he sees his friend, he sees his mom, his dad, whoever, instead of seeing an actual person threatening democracy.
I'm gonna send you this picture. We're gonna put it up on the YouTube. But you know what? We should use this as the cover for this episode, whatever the title is.
Oh, I like that.
This is what they erected when they were protesting at the Capitol.
Can you send that to me?
Absolutely.
Yeah. For reference, it's the picture of the guy with the noose.
How do I on this new phone?
I will go over it. We'll go over it. You could just take a screenshot and send it to me too.
I don't know how to screenshot. I don't have a button anymore.
Oh, the top button and the top volume. The top button and the top volume. All right.
Got it. Anyway. Yeah.
That's crazy. I really can't believe that they erected a noose. I mean, I believe it.
They're hanging.
I'm not surprised by it, but I didn't know that happened.
Trump flags should be equated. It should be equated in everyone's brain with a swastika at this point. And I want you all to understand that. I want you all to understand that, because even when it came to like Nazi Germany, like, of course, Hitler was the one who was in charge, but there are plenty of people. I'm so sexy on this episode, right? And there were obviously plenty of other people involved up top, not just Trump, not just Hitler, but it's like, this is now their new insignia. The Make America Great Again hats, the Trump flags. This is their branding.
Yep.
They are not
still fear.
They are non-American. Understand that. They are not for America. They are for themselves and their own goals. I would not be surprised if another civil war popped up. I would not be surprised if they try to secede or whatever the fuck they're trying to do.
Yeah. I'm just so upset that we really let white supremacy get to this point. Y'all squelched the Black Panthers in the beginning. Like, y'all didn't even let Black Panthers make it to the 21st century. And yet you're letting them storm the Capitol. You're letting white supremacists have a say.
Because, and that's the thing, we really have to sit here and finally accept the fact that most of the people in charge of us are white supremacists too. And it's been shown time and time again. Police commissioners, police chiefs, regular police officers, government officials, mayors, governors, throughout the years since the KKK has been a thing, a lot of them have been connected to the KKK. That's what I'm saying. That's their own people. So I'm saying the cops who opened up the gates and waved them in would have been the protesters had they not had to work that day.
Right.
And obviously, and like I said, there's some evidence that there were off-duty cops protesting, so maybe they saw their friends and they said, oh shit, all right, gotta let him through. I was waiting for his signal. You know what I mean?
Ridiculous. It's just so disgusting. And I think we're gonna get attacked. I'm not putting in the air, knock on wood, pray it don't happen. But I think we're gonna get attacked by another country. I truly do. Because if I was another country looking at us, I would take advantage.
It would be the best time to come at us, huh?
It's a hot mess. It's a hot mess.
It's ridiculous.
We look crazy. America would save itself from America.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. We gotta go. We gotta get here. And that's and it sucks that we have to uproot our lives to go somewhere else. But at this point, if we don't do it now, it's going to become a refugee situation. I don't see things getting better. I only see things getting worse from this point.
I don't want to say that. I think it can go either way. I think it depends on the youth. It depends on them.
But the youth are too young. There are senators.
They're too young for now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying 5 to 10 years.
Oh, okay.
A 9-year-old can't do anything when they're 9. So when I say it's gonna get worse before it gets better, I mean now.
Oh yeah.
Down the line, when you and me are like 7 or 40 years down the line, it might be a different story. But for the
next 10 years are gonna be rough. I really think it's gonna be bad.
If you
these next 10 years,
a Black person and you choose to stay in America, which most of us will, and I understand why, learn to shoot a gun, and get gun to protect yourself.
And move out of these all-white towns.
Please.
Move your family away from these towns.
We need to
I don't care how good
together.
the education is. Go somewhere where you can be safe. Because when things pop off, you're the one that's gonna be surprised that your neighbors with the shit. Like, you're gonna be real surprised when things start happening, and now you don't feel safe in your little ass town in the middle of nowhere.
We need to start, if we're gonna stay in this country, we need to start grouping together. That's number one.
Yeah.
And you need to learn to protect yourself. It's so funny because I told a friend I want to learn how to shoot a gun just in case I need to learn how to protect myself. And he's like, oh, against like robbers or something like that. I said, no, I've known if somebody's gonna come in my house and rob, go. It's the house is yours. I don't care. My money's in the bank. What are you gonna take? A diamond ring? I'll buy another one. Rob me. I don't give a fuck. I'm not gonna shoot you over some shit. I don't care about that. But I'm saying,
if you try to hurt me and mine.
And as I say, I'm like, but now I'm like, if something pops off, and I said to him, what if there's a war? What if people are coming? I'm like, look at these protests. Look how violent they're coming against us. I need to know how to protect myself in case something happens. Right. He's like, how ridiculous. Like, you think that there's really going to be a war and you're going to need to learn how to shoot yourself? Now look at this, baby.
Yes, better safe than sorry.
With no prediction, this is what I was saying. Now we're seeing some proof.
Better safe than sorry.
If you are Black in America, any person of color, honestly, but I'm focused on Black people. If you're Black in America, you're planning to stay in America, we need to start grouping together, living around each other, and you need to learn how to defend yourself. Learn how to shoot a gun. I'm not saying you got to buy one yet. Learn how to shoot a gun. And if you're choosing to leave the country, I also just suggest you do it in groups. Go with your whole family, like extended family. Convince a few cousins. Go with a few friends. Be like, oh, we're all going to take our family and move to Toronto.
Right.
We're all going to move to Montreal. We're all going to move to Vancouver. You know what I mean? So you're not alone. Yeah. But that's what those are my plans. Because
I arrested some of them too. Like, they went to their Facebook, found pictures of them doing the illegal shit, and arrested them. Only about 70 of them, even though 4,000 people were arrested during Black Lives Matter protests. But about 60 of them got picked up.
Okay. When I first heard, it was only 14. So I'm glad that number's gone up.
It needs to continue to go up.
And now with this aftermath, so the aftermath of the Capitol, and this is why I think it's going to piss him off even more. Trump is now banned from Twitter for life.
I saw permanently. That's not gonna sit well.
No. Oh no. So he's banned from Twitter. Which is funny because I feel like Twitter is already funny because they were fact checking almost every single one of his tweets, which is hilarious that you have to do that for the president. I'm a little offended that Facebook and Instagram only put like a 2-week hold on his stuff.
Yeah.
And somebody said it so perfectly. They were like, Mark Zuckerberg and all his people were making so much bank off of Trump and all his little Trumpets.
Yep.
And it's only now because, I mean, they were, I don't want to say the biggest supporters, but when it comes to all the things that were involved with things Trump, they were the quietest. And they're the ones who allowed the most shit to go.
They were the enablers, for sure, 100%.
That's the word. They were the enablers. So now it's like, oh, we're going to put a 2-week hold. Fuck you. Anyway.
All right.
They're trying.
We're just going to put up a black square for Black Lives Matter. Yeah, like, we stand with you guys.
Fuck you, Mark Zuckerberg.
Ridiculous.
What do I say his name? I don't care.
Zuckerberg.
They're trying to impeach him, knowing that he has 10 days left?
He did. I feel like part of me, I never want to say I feel bad for him, but his legacy is destroyed. He did this to himself. Yeah. How he handled not being reelected literally could have paved the way for his legacy. Yep. Literally could have ended it on a higher note. It wouldn't have been like this. Now his legacy is literally sore loser.
Yep.
Big baby.
But the thing is, his supporters don't believe that. They think the election was stolen from him. Because all of a sudden, this election that has worked in our favor for centuries, even though it hasn't, but in their brains it has, now for this particular election, all of a sudden, every single vote is fake. Nothing is real. The United States Postal Service is fake. And everything needs to be destroyed or recounted.
And it's backfiring on them because in the Georgia election, a lot of Republicans a lot of Republican voters said they weren't going to vote at all because they don't trust the system.
And now look at who won. Yay! Good. It's ridiculous. And so I think Wagner College took away one of his honorary degrees. Was that Wagner College?
Shouldn't have had. It was Wagner, but he shouldn't have had any. Cool.
Because before this, he was a celebrity, and now he is a terrible ex-president.
He's going out. He's going out bad. He's going out real bad. And like, my mom was telling me that as soon as he's escorted off the premises, which I hope is on live TV, I pray it's on live TV for us to see it. They said he's going right into handcuffs because so many states have so many states have lawsuits out against him for bad business.
Wow. Oh, how wonderful. He'll probably kill himself like Hitler.
Or try to leave the country, but where would he go? Who would accept a wanted ex-American president? Russia.
France still has Roman Polanski, so that means we won't be able to go to France until he dies, which will probably be in 3 years. Easy, right? Yeah, there's a lot, and what's scaring me about this is that like people like you and me, sane people, are like, ooh, this is ruining his legacy. He's going out like a sore loser. But for the people who are on his side, all of this is just gonna, like, how many Republicans are probably telling their kids not to go to Wagner College? You know what I mean? Like, or are gonna go and protest outside of Wagner College. You know, and who knows what that'll turn into. Like,
there are still Trump flags flying in my neighborhood.
How many people are gonna fucking, like, and that's what I'm saying. What is this going to turn into? So even if Trump isn't in charge of the revolution, who will be? Who's gonna stand up and, you know, fight for his name?
His son was leading the rally before they stormed the Capitol.
Oh my God in heaven. What kind, oh, this is terrifying. It's like I have a smile on my face, but this is terrifying.
It's actually scary and very frustrating, and I just want Black people to stay out of it for as long as they can.
Absolutely. This is terrifying.
All right. Well, are you ready to wrap with our quote?
I'm ready to wrap it up.
I enjoyed this episode. I missed you. It's good to be back.
It's good to be back.
So our quote comes from the late, great Albert Einstein.
Yes.
The measure of intelligence is the ability to change. That's it. The measure of intelligence is the ability to change.
Ooh.
Ooh. So, with going in line with the new year, new you, in order to change, you're going to have to be aware of what you need to change. You need to be smart about how you're going to change.
Yeah.
You need to be aware of the things that you need to do. And courageous to take on that path. You can do it.
That's the big one, everybody. Courage. Shit is scary. In real life and in personal life, shit is scary. But if you want to be the better version of yourself, you got to do it.
But all right. We're going to take you out. Follow us. Christine, you hit us with the handles this time. You know I always mess it up.
If you have any questions, you want to reach out to us, you just want to tell us we're doing a good job, please hit us at Best of Both Girls, right?
Yes.
No, Both Girls Podcast at gmail.com.
There you go. Both Girls Podcast at gmail.com.
If you want to hit us on Instagram, we are at Both Girls Podcast. If you want to hit us on Twitter, we are at Both Girls Pod. Melissa is at Melly Hort,
Melly Hort.
HORT. I am at Now, VIEVE_NOW.
And we'll see you on the next episode.
Subscribe to our YouTube.
Deuces 20. Hit me with the 2-1. Hit me with the 2-1. Hey. Bye guys.
Bye y'all.